Welcome back to the Impact Podcast or the Impact Show, whatever you want to call it. We're back in studio today. Maddie and I were sitting in different chairs today. She had the idea to change our lighting ever so slightly and move me to the couch. So I've been kicked out over to the couch. And she's laughing, but it's real. So anyway.
Just trying something new.
Yeah. Well, it's just the two of us. We don't have a guest today. We're just going to study a mandate. And so we're trying to get our handle on the technology and the videos. And Maddie's doing a jam-up job.
I'm trying.
I'm super pumped. That's good. We finally got some shorts back underway. And so we've gotten some stuff figured out. And, hey, it's all good. We're excited. This week we're going to talk about wait. We got to talk about last week first.
Mm-hmm.
What did we talk about last week, Maddie?
It was another mandate of vision.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really good. Do you have a key takeaway, or you want me to jump?
I do have a key takeaway. Mine was scripture related. So if you remember, I read Proverbs 29:18.
Mm-hmm. I wrote that down.
And I'll read it again right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Proverbs 29:18. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, here it is right here. Where there is no vision, the people are unrestrained. But happy is he who keeps the law. So, no vision is bad, right? That's it. That's all I got. So that was my takeaway. Is where there, if there's not any vision, you ain't going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Vision is imperative for any organization, whether it be a team or a church or a business or just a group of folks.
Family.
Family.
Yeah.
You got to have vision or you ain't going nowhere. That was my takeaway.
Okay.
It was either vision or nothing. So.
Okay. One of the things that we talked about was how Jesus spoke in third person.
We did.
And then we kind of started going back and forth about how, you kind of said that you talk to yourself, and it's like this past week I've been trying to do that,
Yeah.
and I think I do it a lot more than what I realize.
Yeah.
But it's like thinking yourself through things, but not, it's like an out of body experience, I think is what you said.
100%.
And so, and it's different when you pull yourself away from the situation and look into it from the outside. I don't know. It was kind of cool.
Well, you remember I said it was like a superpower?
Yeah.
And when you start doing it, you begin to do it more.
Right.
And then you begin to do it more and more and more. Next thing you know, you're literally coaching yourself through everything. Now, what will happen is when you get really emotional about something, you tend to stay in the flesh.
Right.
But Paul writes about it in scripture where we could go into that, but not right now. But he dealt with the same thing Paul did. Yeah. And I think as a believer, when you know the Lord and you operate in the spirit or the flesh, and I believe that when you operate in the flesh, it's never good. So I like to think that the world, the flesh, and the devil are my enemies. And therefore, Jeremy in the flesh is an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyway.
It was good. It was good for me to use it at work, like in different situations, but also at home when, your kids are doing something and you're like, wait a second, let me just
pull up. Pull up.
Mm-hmm. So
3,000 feet.
Yep.
Look down in the room. And it also helps make decisions because you can take all feeling out of it.
Right.
And you can say, all right, what's the right thing to do?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, cool.
All
right. So moving on. If you didn't get to hear that one, go back and listen to it. It was good. This is episode number 31, and we're going to cover integrity today. Integrity is it's crazy. I always want to say this is the most important one.
Every time.
They're all important.
Mm-hmm.
Integrity is so critical to the very nature of leadership. So when you're asking people to follow you, you have to be a person of integrity. If you're not, then you're not worth following, right? So anyway, what is integrity? How would you define it, Maddie?
Google would define it.
Oh, she's got
Listen, I've already got it down because I knew you were going to ask me this. Integrity in a person means having and acting on strong, consistent moral and ethical principles, often described as being honest, trustworthy, or doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Let me just put definition in here.
There you go. Define.
The quality of being honest and having strong moral principles.
Okay. So honesty, integrity, those kind of go in hand. But I think one of the cool things that you just said was doing the right thing even when no one is watching.
Right.
Because a lot of people can paint the pig, per se, right? A lot of people can look like they're doing the right thing, but when no one is watching, when you're all alone, what do you do then? And what kind of decisions do you make?
Mm-hmm.
Do you make decisions based on your best interest at that time or the best interest of others? A true leader always makes decisions based on everyone else around him. And that is few and far between. That's the number one thing when you talk about integrity as a leader, right? Because integrity is 100 things as a mom and a dad, but integrity as a leader, you are responsible for the people that you're shepherding, the people that are following you. And you have to put them first because that's who you're leading. And so when you're making decisions, you have to base your decision off what's best for them. That's just it. For a leader, it means you're aligning your decisions and behavior with core values and principles.
Mm-hmm.
That for the organization. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I mean, it's really hard to put everyone else first too. So having that ability, it's just human nature to want to do what's best for yourself. You know, I mean,
yes, but that is in fact what when we talk about being a great leader, like one of the GOAT, the greatest leader,
mm-hmm.
always puts others in front of him,
right,
in every situation. And now, having said that, because there might be people out there right now and they're thinking, well, yeah, whatever. That's because they're sitting on their island somewhere in their house, and But the way they got there was by doing this,
right.
So if a leader can ever really figure this out, this part right here, and we're not even talking about integrity here, but when we're talking about integrity, we're talking about the ability to make decisions based on what's best for everyone else. That is where then your integrity comes about. But anyway, we're chasing rabbits. So why is it so important as a leader? And we're going to go through a few things here. I've got us a checklist. Of course, we'll just have conversation. But why would you think it's important, Maddie, for a leader to exhibit integrity?
Because I think trust has a lot to do with people, relationships succeeding. So I think, having integrity as a leader builds, whether it's your team, your family, your friends, whatever. I feel like you are building trust around you, and that's like
Did you look at my notes?
I didn't.
Wow.
Actually. Is that what it is?
So educated over here. Yeah, why don't you just teach?
Hey.
So it's the first one I had is builds trust.
Oh, perfect.
It's right there.
I really didn't.
What? You didn't look at it?
I didn't.
She didn't cheat, y'all.
I didn't.
So trust, here it is. Okay. Trust is the currency of leadership.
Okay. I like that.
You give trust, you get trust, and you get leadership. Okay. It's what happens in the exchange. I mean, trust is what is the road to attaining leadership. You're not going to lead people that don't trust you, because they're not going to follow you. It's just not. It's not in their DNA. They might report to you. They might work for you, they're not going to follow you. It's a big difference.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about. So trust is the currency of leadership. When a leader acts with integrity, people believe in their judgment. People believe in, I tell my guys all the time, and I hope that I'm a good leader to them. I hope they feel that way. But I tell them all the time that I will never make a decision for anything for them that doesn't benefit them, right? And if I do, it always will benefit them, even if it's bad, right? So if I have to have an issue, if we have an issue with someone, whatever reason, my talking to them about it is simply to make them better. Or if they do really well or whatever, I'm always looking at what's good for them, period. Okay? Even sometimes at the demise of myself, even to a fault for me.
Right.
And so they know that, hopefully, right? So maybe we should quiz them. Team members are more likely to follow someone they trust even when it's hard. So if you can be trusted as a leader, then even when things do get tough, your people will stay with you, right? They're not going to abandon you because things are tough. Now, on the other hand, if you're not a great leader, when it does get tough, hey, they're out. They're rolling. Okay,
that makes it harder on you.
And then life gets harder for you.
Yeah,
exactly. All right. So number one, you're right, Maddie. Build trust. Number two is to create a strong and ethical culture. So, why is integrity important in a leader? Because it sets the tone of it creates your culture. And it's just simply that. So, employees tend to leaders set the tone of the organization through integrity, and so if you encourage integrity, accountability, and all those things through the organization, then everyone else is going to follow suit, right? They're going to do the same. So, all right, number three, inspires. So, integrity inspires loyalty and respect. Have you ever been a part of an organization where respect was not regarded high?
I don't think so. I mean,
I've been a part of an organization where it wasn't the law of the land. Respect was not the law of the land. In other words, and this is at least what I try to do in my tribe for impact. And I've always tried to do this. It's a big deal. So my guys have to respect each other, right? And people have to respect my guys. And if I see that not happening, then I tend to guard that. One time I had to let someone go because of a respect issue. Not at Impact. It was at a previous, somewhere I was leading. And it was a situation where someone became disrespectful. One of my best guys. And I had to let him go. Because I guard that, right?
Yeah.
And I tell my guys today, we can do a lot of things. We can play and cut up. But when it really boils down to it, you're going to be respectful. And so I don't think that people, in my opinion, I don't think that people manage that like they should today.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times too, if your customer or your client is disrespectful to your team or to your employees, I think that shows, if you allow that to happen.
Yeah. No.
I mean, that it's not just within the family or within the tribe or whatever. It's also, if you as a leader have a client or customer who's being disrespectful to your team, and you actually handle it,
right? I
mean, that as an employee for me, I think that would, it's like you stood up for me,
right? No, 100%. So, I was trying to think earlier. I was trying to think of a scenario that played out in my life where I seen this play out, and I don't know that I ever did. There wasn't like a time in my life where I said, because of this, I'm going to make sure that I manage that. But I don't really know why. I take ownership of my team. But if someone gets out of line and disrespectful to my team, I don't care who it is. Like we're gonna talk. Like you're not doing that, right?
Yeah.
Or we just won't be in the room. But respect is a big deal, and people follow leaders that they respect, and not just those in authority. Mm-hmm. And I think respect is earned. Integrity. Here's the thing. So respect is earned, right? Well, integrity earns that respect over time. And so making fair decisions, admitting mistakes, and standing up for what is right, that is what earns respect. And respect earns integrity. So, okay. Why else is integrity important? That was number 3. Number 4 is better decision making. We talked about that just briefly. A leader with integrity doesn't make unethical choices ever, even under pressure. So, and I couldn't think of an example here, but if you were facing insurmountable pressure to decide on something, and again, it wasn't in the favor, it was either in the favor of the business, company, team, whatever you're leading, or in the favor of you, one of the two. Again, the leader of integrity always goes with the team, with the organizational goals. And so a leader with integrity, the decisions they make are more likely to be considered and based on long-term values rather than short-term wins. So instead of a short-term win, the leader with integrity will choose long-term values. And that's a differentiator. And again,
that's good.
You can't say it enough that the people that win the race, the long game, the leaders, real, true, genuine, great leaders, this is describing them, but it doesn't describe most people, okay? I know lots of people that run mighty fine organizations today that would not make decisions based on long-term values. They make decisions on short-term wins. Mm-hmm. And I know them. I know who they are. So, all right, what happens when leaders lack integrity? Because that's what I just told you. I know some that are out there.
Well, I mean, I think
what happens when they lack it?
People leave.
Yeah.
You're what's the word? Like you kind of look like I guess if you're not honest, if you don't have integrity, all of that, like as a leader, your employees are going to leave. You, people don't look up to you. They're not going to trust you, and they're going to just everything that you say. It's going to now trickle down to, yeah, okay, he's not trustworthy. Like I don't trust him, so I have my guard up.
Hold on. You've been looking at my notes.
I really haven't.
Team members begin to second guess motives and instructions.
Yeah, I mean,
the guard's up.
Right.
Just what you just said. The team, when you begin to lack integrity, they're going to question the decisions that you make, right? They're going to second guess you. Distrust grows. It's the opposite of trust, right? Mm-hmm. But exactly what you said, they're not making decisions fast. They're going to be slow. It's just a hold and tip. It's a different environment.
Well, I think too, I feel like trust is very easy to get from people, but as soon as you break trust, it's very hard to get it back.
Oh, yes.
100%. So it's like if you make one bad mistake that, I mean, affects one employee, that person's always going to have their guard up.
Yeah, they say like going in debt, right? It's easy to get in, hard to get out.
Right.
It's I wouldn't say it's easy to build trust, but as long as you're making the right decisions along the way, no one has the reason to doubt.
Right.
They'll just click and follow until they have a reason not to. And the further you get down that road, the more you trust you build.
And I guess when I said easy to trust, that's not, I guess it's people, it's like when you do a ton of great things all the time and you don't get not necessarily recognized for it, but just, and then you make that one bad decision. Yeah. It's just so easy to just tear everything, like your name could be, you know, thrown through the mud, I mean, just everything in life can go away just from one bad decision, even if you've made 100 great decisions.
Right. No, that's right. It's good. So one of the things I have on here, morale drops. So if you've ever been a part of an organization where morale is high, it's a good feeling. Like people love going to work and it's all exciting. With a minute that you become untrustworthy or lack integrity based on a decision that you made, that diminishes. Yeah. Momentum goes away. Okay. And so, again, people don't want to follow someone they can't believe in. And, you know, I tell you, and I'll just say this, since I started Impact Service Group, I oftentimes think of how blessed I am to be able to lead such an organization with the vision that it has, and why God gave it to me, I'll never know. But each and every day that passes with everybody that I hire, I realize how much more responsibility I have to become a better person, to become a better me, to become a better CEO of the company, whatever. Like that responsibility, I don't take lightly. Yeah. And so more and more as I grow into this role and we grow as a company, I can see myself letting things go that don't need to be in my life, and I can see myself adding things. And so, but it's a responsibility to become the person that people want to follow. And when you realize that you're now responsible for not just feeding your wife and kids, but also for 8 other families, wife and kids, it's a bizarre thing, and it's obviously humbling. So, anyway, I don't know why I got there, but I did.
That's good. So,
what about this? When leaders lack integrity, reputation suffers. So your reputation can be scarred forever.
Yeah.
Okay. Word spreads fast.
It does.
Now, especially these days. Good Lord. I mean, in 10 minutes, everybody in the country knows about anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what's crazy about that is like, it's not just your reputation, it's the company's. So like 100%. If you're a leader in a company and you own your own company, I don't own mine, but I'm a leader in that company. So if I make a bad decision, then I feel like that's the company could go down. You know, it's not just my name.
Yeah, no, and that's why you see people getting fired all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Because it doesn't take these days. It doesn't take but a minute. Like boycott this and boycott that. Everybody's all of a sudden not buying whatever to adjust it.
Right.
And so, that's a good point. You are a representation of the company that you work for. And so like my guys, they're out wearing an Impact hat or a shirt, and they go to a gas station and they get sideways with somebody. That's going to be a reflection of where they work. That's good, very good point. So my guys need integrity too. And everybody at your place of business needs to exhibit integrity. And guess where it starts? At the top or at the bottom, whichever way you want to look at it. I like to say at the bottom because the highest senior official of a business company or whatever typically has the biggest burden. He should be on the bottom.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, but reputation suffers. Okay. Legal or ethical issues arise. A lack of integrity can result in all kinds of organizational damage. And we don't have to get into all that because we don't want to talk about that. But at the end of the day, there can absolutely be lawsuits and all that stuff because of a lack of integrity at any level. So
I think integrity is contagious. Like,
Nice.
so like if you've got a leader that is just a great, it's like you as a follower aspire to be like that person, you know? So it's kinda like, it just gives good vibes, and, you know, everything meshes well. It no turmoil or anything. Like if and it kind of just trickles down to everybody.
Yeah. Well, definitely. So absolutely, integrity is something that once attained, I mean, I guess you ever fully attain it. I guess to walk in it, you have to consistently, if you're a human being, you have to consistently coach yourself to be full of integrity. And, I guess everybody does that their own way. I do it with scripture reading. Okay, so C.S. Lewis said, integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching, which we kind of talked about. Let's see, got another quote here. Dwight Eisenhower said, the supreme quality of leadership is unquestionably integrity. I've asked a bunch of people, like, what do you think is the most important attribute to leadership? And they all say integrity.
Interesting.
Well, I won't say they all. Because, we've asked people on the show, but a lot of the folks we've interviewed have said integrity.
Right.
Several of them have. Several people that we haven't interviewed that I've talked to say that. I disagree. But, and I think it was Mac and Rhea. Yeah, it was Mac and Rhea that said, trust and integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she may have said they go in the same. I have to go back and listen to it, but I think it's very important. But anyway, let's see. Okay, there's a story, a quick story. We're going to change this up just a little bit, but do you remember that airplane that went down in the Hudson River?
Mm-hmm.
What was that dude's name?
The pilot?
Yeah, Sully. Captain Chelsea. Here we go. Sully Sullenberger. Okay. It was January 15th, 2009. U.S. Airway Flight 1549 took off from New York's airport. And just a few minutes after takeoff, the plane struck some geese. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
They hit the geese, losing power in both engines. And so Captain, they called him Sully, was at the controls. And at 3,000 feet, with no engine power and no clear runway within reach, Sully had seconds to determine what to do. Air traffic control suggested he return to LaGuardia or landing in another nearby airport. But Sully was assessing the situation and realized that trying to turn back, he may not make it.
Right.
And so he's only 3,000 feet, and he's like, oh, man, this ain't good. And so my understanding was that he just basically said, we're going to be in the Hudson. So I don't know how far. I don't know the frame of reference. I don't know all that stuff. I just know that at that time, that guy was he was the commander of the plane, right? Commander of the ship. And he had to decide what he was going to do based on what was best for those passengers, no matter what anybody else said.
Right.
And so, being confident in himself, he decided, I'm landing in the Hudson. And that's what he did.
It's just wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. And so he wasn't able to turn around. He knew it wasn't going to work. And so a lot of people jumped up and down and said he was a hero, because nobody on the plane died.
Right.
Remember?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Not very many injuries or anything.
No, I don't think it wasn't bad at all, but it was like 155 people on board.
Yeah.
And so, but the question is, what made that integrity-based decisions? And so you think about it, because you might be thinking, well, what does that got to do with integrity? Well, it has a lot to do with integrity. And I think a lot of the decisions that are made every single day, you don't think about integrity because it's just there. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm going to make this decision based on my integrity. No, right. You make it based on the level of integrity that you have.
It's like human nature.
Correct. It can be. It becomes nature.
Right.
It's not human nature. Human nature is not to be full of integrity, but
man-made nature.
Yeah. Well, it becomes part of your nature as a leader. And that is learned, right? And we talk about leadership being learned. But how about this? Responsibility over reputation. When you make a decision based on your responsibility over your reputation, and you make the right decision, that's integrity. Responsibility over reputation. Because listen, every decision that you make, you will not be popular for.
Right.
Your reputation will suffer, but your responsibility is not to your reputation. Your responsibility is to those that you lead. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Sully could have tried to protect his image by following the orders of the command tower, but he didn't. He said, no, this is what we're going to have to do. And he did that. And so he was protecting the safety of others over his reputation.
Yeah.
Because obviously he would have gotten fired. Whatever could have happened.
Yeah.
But he knew to protect the people.
He was brave.
He was very brave. Absolutely. So preparedness and honesty. So Sully had trained his whole life to be ready for such a moment, and he didn't pretend things were better than they were. He faced the truth head on, and he acted decisively.
Mm-hmm.
So he was prepared and just honest with the situation. And that's integrity, and not hiding from it, and not cowering down to it. He went to his training and went to work. And I'll also say he was selfless, which is also something that creates integrity inside of you. When you're selfless, integrity will follow.
And I think one of the big things he was the control people, the flight control people were threatening his job.
Sure.
And so that's where he's putting, again, I don't care. Then fire me, but I know that what you're telling me to do is not going to work.
Not going to work. I'll never make it there.
No.
Yeah.
And
I'm landing in the Hudson.
Right.
Because that's what we're going to have to do. Get your boats out and come get us.
Yeah. There's a movie out about that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We should watch it.
It's called Sully.
We should watch it. Well, at the end of the day, Sully was hailed as a hero. And so, but again, integrity isn't just about being honest. Remember, we in the beginning we said your definition was honesty, integrity, kind of the same thing. But it's not just about being honest. It's about doing the right thing, despite the difficulty of it. And so, it shows the content of your character, which I think, by the way, characters next week. But anyway, okay. So what about Starbucks? Do you know about that? You probably don't know about that.
I don't know.
So Starbucks, there was a CEO named Howard Schultz. And Schultz didn't just build a coffee empire. He built a company with values at its core, where integrity shaped every decision. It says when Schultz joined Starbucks in the 1980s, they were small chains selling coffee beans. He had a bigger vision, not just selling coffee, but creating a third place between work and home where people could connect. So the coffee shops, I guess Starbucks was the first, maybe I'm wrong, first coffee shop to kind of do it the way that Starbucks did it. They grew really big, but in 2008, they had a financial crisis. Starbucks was struggling. Many leaders in his position would have cut employee benefit. I'm sorry. Yeah. It says Schultz, integrity didn't show just in growth. It came through in tough decisions he made along the way. Starbucks was struggling. Many leaders in his position would have cut employee benefits, closed hundreds of stores, or compromised on product and quality. But listen to this. Schultz refused to abandon Starbucks values. Okay? So despite the crisis that they were in, he showed integrity. And this is how. He kept health care for all of his employees, even during tough times. So I think there were some people after him to, cut cost. And that was the first thing they said, well, we can just cut the health care.
Mm-hmm.
And that did not align with his values. Why? Because his people were priority. And so why would you take health care from your employees? That makes no sense. In fact, that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm sitting in a meeting or when I'm talking to someone and I hear them say about their business, well, we're just going to do this, or we're going to do that, and it doesn't align with what's best for the people, they're confused. Okay? Everything has to be best for the people. And Schultz said this, if you're not invested in the humanity of your people, you don't have a company. Okay? So there were 7,100 stores at the time in 2008. 7,100 Starbucks stores. And so one of the things he did to get back on their feet was he shut down all the stores and he retrained them, the barista people, on how to make the coffee and how to treat the people and how to talk. And so shut them down. And everybody said that was suicide, business suicide, because it would cost so much money. And it does. It costs a lot of money. But I think that he was courageous in the fact that he knew this has to happen. It's the right thing. It's going to cost a lot of money. It has to happen. It's the right thing. Everyone we got to be consistent in our messaging. And so shut the stores down, have the leaders train them. You know, that was a bold and courageous move that was necessary. But it worked. He regained customer trust and employee pride.
Yeah.
And he's still around.
Is he?
Yeah. As far as I know. Well, I don't know if he's around, but Starbucks is.
Oh, well, yeah. Starbucks is.
Yeah, I think they have a new CEO now. But he ran it for
but think about as an employee, like how great you would feel.
Yeah.
Like, I know that he could fire half of his staff and close stores where people don't have a place to go to work. And,
right.
And instead he actually, put value on his people and they trust. I mean,
yeah.
Think about trusting that process. That'd be hard as an employee. Well,
people can say what they want to about Starbucks, but what they did was good. And there's been a lot of people now coming along that are taking the idea. There's little coffee houses all over the place now, all over America. But at least what I remember, Starbucks was, in the early 2000s, they were booming and growing and showing up everywhere. And I don't always, some of those people that work there are not necessarily people that I agree with politically and all that stuff, whatever. We don't even talk about all that. But at the end of the day, it's an organization that ran, and they ran a tight ship for a while. And I mean, as far as I know, they're doing good now.
Yep.
But he was a good leader. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's all kinds of stories out there where people exhibit integrity and lead organizations that are worth following because of that. Okay. And so if you're out there and you're a leader, focusing on your integrity level is a huge deal. And my recommendation, as always, is to learn to follow Jesus, because he was a man of integrity, and that's where I get mine from. But being bold and courageous and doing the right thing when the odds are stacked against you is what integrity is. So,
yeah, that's great.
That's it. That's all I have for integrity. That is episode number 31, by the way. 31. And so, again, lots of folks say integrity is the most important. I don't know. I think that being present either allows you to lead or not. And I'm not talking about physical presence. We talked about that before. It's being present.
Right.
I think you have to be. There is no leader if he's not present, because he's not there.
Right.
So, in my opinion, that's the number one most important. But I believe integrity would be right behind that, number two, in my opinion. So it's definitely the top of the list.
I think trustworthy.
Yeah.
I think I've said that before, but But it all kind of goes hand in hand. But the thing with trustworthy is now I'm kind of thinking it might be integrity because it's you can be trustworthy, but integrity is being trustworthy and honest all the time. You know, it's like that. It's the longevity of it and the
walking in integrity.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think living in integrity or walking in integrity, and I think that builds trust.
I love it. Good stuff. It always fires me up when we have these learning episodes.
Well, hopefully next week somebody will join us for an interview.
Yeah.
We've been 3 shows without one, but I think we're lining up some pretty good ones. I've got Pastor Jeff Rogers coming on.
Love it.
Next week, I think.
Okay.
And then behind him we have Brett Malden coming. He's recently decided to run for a political office in our region. Mm-hmm. But we've got him coming, and then we have Justin Kennedy coming, which is our new worship director at our church, which he's not new to the church. He's been there a long time. He's been a leader in our church and done some really cool things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I got for today. We're about 45 minutes or so. So that's pretty slick.
Looking good. We're getting better and better.
Landing the plane. Do it. Get it out. Of course, these next 10, I'll say this too before we jump off. We did 10 mandates. Now we're on the back 10.
Okay.
And the next 10 are, in fact, a little shorter. Okay. And not that they're any less important, but they're just smaller pieces of it, and they're more dialed in. So when we start talking about meekness, of course, that one might actually take a while. But the next 10 should be a little faster. So
we're making the turn.
We are making the turn. Yep. We're halfway through the year, halfway through the mandates for sure. So.
Great. Good stuff.
All right. Signing off, y'all. Lead well. Be good.
Off.
See ya.